How's it going out there? Welcome from H2TechVideos. Today I want to go over the pros and cons of the Asus Transformer Infinity, also known as the Asus Transformer Pad TF700. And so just first to go over some of the basic information about it. It is $499 for a 32GB model. The 64GB model is $599. It is a 10.1-inch display, Super IPS Plus. Does have a micro HDMI out, Bluetooth 3.0, 2.0 megapixel front-facing camera, 8 megapixel rear camera, 9.5 hour battery. It is sporting the Corning Gorilla Glass 2 on the front. It has a Tegra 3 quad-core processor, and last but not least, it does have a full HD 1920 by 1200 1080p display. Just to kind of throw out some of the basic specs on the tablet here. Let's get into the pros and cons here. Now, first pro is going to be that the memory is expandable, and I probably rate every tablet based upon if it's expandable or not, just because for some people the stock memory is fine and they'll never ever need to have extra memory. Other people, especially if you like to travel, if you take your tablet wherever you go, you may have a lot of games on there, a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows, a lot of music, or even just pictures. And so the expandable memory piece gives you the ability to add more and to basically be able to customize it and not be limited by the space. So always love a tablet that has expandable memory, so that's a pro. Next pro is going to be the screen. This actually is the only 1080p resolution screen out on the market in terms of tablets right now. So best display, you're going to be able to see movies in the best clarity. So that's a great pro for it. That is HD. It looks great. You can just tell by even the quality of how they've designed the interface. It's a beautiful look, and you can definitely tell the difference in the screen. Another pro is that it is a Super IPS Plus screen, and the way that's going to benefit you is that this tablet actually can be seen really well from outside. So if you're outside and you did want to use it to do some browsing, for example, you're sitting on a picnic bench or whatever, and the sun is shining on it, as long as you turn on the Super IPS Plus mode, it is an outdoor mode that actually will make it look better, and you'll actually still be able to see the screen, where most tablets, when you get outside, it actually washes out the screen. So that's a big plus that it has that, and Asus is known for their higher end tablets having that feature that makes it viewable from outside. So great plus there. Next plus is that the Asus does have an accessory dock that does come with it, or excuse me, does not come with it. It is separate. It's $149, but it's a dock that basically the keyboard just sits right into, and the dock pretty much turns it into a laptop, a little portable laptop. It does have a trackpad. It has 2 USB ports. It actually does extend the battery by about 5 or 6 hours. In the USB ports, you can actually plug in a mouse as well, so you'll literally be able to turn your tablet into a laptop. And so this is one of the only tablets I know that has such a specific dock for it. I actually wish Samsung would make one, because their Galaxy Note is a really awesome tablet too, but their proprietary dock isn't nearly as awesome as Asus. This is one, and that's why I think this is actually also a great tablet for students, just because it has that dock. And you know, when you need to type and do some real typing, if you were to get that dock, you'll literally have the ability of an actual computer with your tablet. So great plus, the keyboard dock there. Next thing is a quad-core processor, so it's nice and quick. Will allow you to run multiple programs at one time. Great for gaming, if you do like to play games, or just simply you have a lot of stuff open at one time and you don't have to worry about it really slowing down. Also, this is also upgradable to Jelly Bean now. So the Jelly Bean update actually came out last week. Jelly Bean is actually Android 4.1, so it's one of their newest OS updates, and so with that you actually get some really cool customizing features. One of them is whenever you want to move around a widget now, you can simply move it into place and that widget will just move. You see that? So I could literally move this here. I could even move this down here if I wanted to, and everything would adjust. Now before, if you're on an ice cream sandwich, you don't have this luxury. So if you actually wanted to move your widgets around, you have to literally take this widget, move it off the page, and then move this over. So this is just a really cool new feature that they've added, and it just makes it a lot easier to customize your tablet and really be able to you know, have some fun with it and make it yours how you want it. One of the other things that does come with Jelly Bean is what's called Google Now, and actually if you go to the home button right here and you just slide up, it activates Google Now automatically. And so just to go over a couple of features of it real fast, it basically learns the things that you search, and it will kind of have all the information there for you without you having to keep looking for it every time you want to check. For example, I'm a 49ers fan. I've searched before about 49ers games, and so now automatically when I launch it, it tells me what's the next 49ers game. The game is tomorrow versus the Jets. You know, preview. I can even buy tickets right from here. This is on my calendar for tomorrow. Pick up Newton. So it has my calendar information right here. Also, it tells me, hey, if you were to go to your job right now, it'll take 12 minutes to get there based upon traffic. If it was the morning time, this would adjust. So this is actually live traffic updates right here, and you're about to leave for work. It's going to tell you, hey, it's going to take you this long to get there. And, you know, again, it's nice to not have to, you know, do so much work to get basic information that you're going to want all the time. For example, you know, the weather. Right now it's 65 degrees. It's going to tell me the weather for the next couple of days. So I know, hey, tomorrow's going to be 90. It's going to be a little bit hotter. I need to make sure that I don't dress so warm. Okay? So this is kind of a preview of Google Now. And it does have Google's browser right here where you can just search things. And it just remembers it. It learns you and allows for basically you cutting down on the work you have to do because it memorizes more of the things that you do. So great plus that you're going to get with the Jelly Bean update. And that's going to do it for the pros. Let's go ahead and switch over to the cons here. First con I would say is that I feel like it's a little expensive at $499, and I'm only saying that because if you compare this side by side to the TF700, which is a model that Asus came out with a couple months ago, the specs aren't too much different from this tablet, but it's $120 more. And they're both quad-core tablets. This is a 32 gig in terms of memory. That is a 16 gig. This is an HD screen. That wasn't an HD screen. And they both have Jelly Bean. So I really just didn't feel like it was worth it to release it at such a higher price point. But I think if they had put it too close, maybe it would have cut into the sales of the TF700. Maybe that's why they made it more. So, you know, it's the same price as the iPad. So the plus is that you're getting more bang for your buck. If you were comparing this right to the new iPad, you know, $500 gets you 32 gigs, where the new iPad is 16 gigs, 500. If you spend $100 more, you get 64 gigs, where the $599 iPad is going to be 32 gigs. So that was a smart move there in terms of giving you more memory. I just felt like they could have maybe even made it $479, $449, just because they didn't change a whole lot compared to the TF700. So that was a con there. Next con is I've never been a big fan of Asus's keyboard. One, because the Asus tablets always tend to have a really thick bezel, and the bezel is just the area between the end of the tablet and where the screen starts. So when it comes to typing, it can be a little annoying. And right now I actually have my own keyboard installed right now. So this is not the stock keyboard. This is actually a keyboard from an app called SwiftKey, which I definitely recommend you download. So just to show you, this is the full-size keyboard in that app. Again, the Asus keyboard is a lot bigger, and so you have to do a lot more reaching over when it comes to hitting these middle letters. Whereas I hit this button right here, and it actually splits the keyboard for me. So now I can just type normal, and it's so much easier. Obviously I haven't typed a lot on here, but I just love that. I think it's so important to just be able to, you know, type comfortably. And that's one of the things about when I left using the iPad. I love that they had that split keyboard. And so this is a con, but it can be fixed. If you were to download that app called SwiftKey, they actually give you, I think, either 1 to 3 month trial to test it out. And if you like it, you can go ahead and buy the app, and you can, you know, have all the advantages. But the keyboard is a lot better if you download the SwiftKey one opposed to the one that comes with. I just don't really like it, and it's just a lot more work when it comes to typing with your thumbs. So that was a con there. Next con I would say is that it only comes with 1 gig of RAM. I was a little disappointed just because quad-core processor, why not give it 2 gigs of RAM just to make sure that it runs smooth? And I have had a couple of times when I was using it. I think earlier I was downloading an app, and it kind of like froze up a little bit as it was trying to process a notification that popped up. And I was kind of like, wow, you know, when I hear a quad-core tablet, I'm thinking that this thing should be lightning fast. And don't get me wrong, it is pretty fast. You know, I'm actually running a live wallpaper, and you know, it's running really quick. So I don't want to downgrade the fact that it is pretty fast, but I did have a couple of examples, or a couple of times I was using it when it did kind of slow up on me, or it did freeze up for a second, you know, to catch up. And even a couple times in the web browser it did that too, and so I was a little surprised. Thought Asus would have kind of worked out those bugs, but obviously they have a little bit more work to do. So that was really my only other con. To throw out another pro here, it has an aluminum backing, and it actually has a pretty good feel on it for it to be aluminum. I don't care too much for the iPad's aluminum feel, but this one actually feels pretty good in your hands. And you know, whenever I've held it, I didn't feel afraid that I was going to drop it. I kind of get that impression when I do hold the iPad, like, man, you know, it's not as strong as I'd like it to be. It is lighter, definitely lighter than the new iPad, so that's, you know, always good. You never want to have to carry something heavy around. And that's really about it, guys. That's kind of my overall review. I think this is a great tablet for students, and I do want to point out that I actually tested out one of my school websites, and it did not work with the stock browser that it came with, which is this guy right here, and it also did not work with Google Chrome or Dolphin. I had to actually download Firefox, which is this app right here. So if you're planning on using this for school, which I do recommend just because of the great keyboard dock, it does come with an awesome note-taking app, which is called, I believe, Supernote. Let me double check that. Yeah, it's called Supernote. This is their note-taking app that comes stock with it. Really great app that you'll enjoy. But I do recommend, if you're going to try to do any type of online classes or logging into school sites, definitely want to download Firefox, or if not, you're going to have a little trouble launching certain sites and getting into certain you know, logins. So other than that, it's a really nice tablet. 1.6 gigahertz processor, quad core, and I think you'll enjoy it. It is the newest and best of Asus's line of tablets, and I hope you found this helpful. If you did, go ahead and like the video for me. Make sure you're subscribed to H2TechVideos, and keep watching. Alright, have a good one.